guys, my name is Katie Beth, and today I want to talk a little bit about the book I've read this semester. So I chose She Thinks Like a Boss, and then Leadership, and it's by Gemma Rodell, I believe is how you pronounce her name. I listened to the audiobook because I have dyslexia, and so it's very hard for me to read and not get confused. So I did listen to the audiobook as I read, and I believe they pronounce it Rodella, I believe. But I loved the audiobook. This was such an inspirational book. Oh my gosh. And I was sitting down to write what I was going to talk about in this book, and I was like, there's so much to talk about. So I've kind of pinpointed it down a little bit. So we'll see how we do. But I'm very excited to take some of these skills I've read about into my daily life as a manager. There's some things I'm like, oh, I catch myself doing that sometimes. Oh, I need to work on this. So it was kind of like a reflection for me too. So I also thoroughly enjoyed that. So like I said, she is a strong businesswoman. She writes about it and writes about how her career has gone. The biggest thing I wrote down that I highlighted in multiple chapters was when you're in a leadership position, you have to bring your personality, but you also need to be professional. That's the best way to find balance between the two. And I thought that was really interesting because as someone who does hold a position in a leadership role, sometimes I feel myself being more professional than having a personality. And that's hard for me sometimes, just because I want to be all giggly and bubbly, but sometimes I have to be like, oh, nope, that's like, you can't get on the same level as your coworkers, but I have to remind myself I can, just know when to cut it off. Do you know what I mean? The second one is a lot of people are natural born leaders and just don't know it, like they haven't explored that side of things, which I thought was super interesting too. I can't remember word for word what she said, but she basically said almost everyone's born a natural leader. It's if you choose to discover that you're a natural leader or not. So I thought that was so interesting because I feel like everyone has leadership qualities. They just may not choose to embrace them or embark on those leadership roles. So I thought that was such an interesting little tidbit of information. The next thing I thought was super interesting was the downfalls of being in a leadership position, because I see myself sometimes doing some of these versus micromanaging. I pray I'm not a micromanager. I don't think I am, at least from what I read, I'm not one. I do over communicate. That was something that was technically a downfall. I kind of see it as a good thing. I kind of disagreed with her on that, but over communicating, what she said was a downfall, was your employees can get frustrated with you if you over communicate, and it can get to the point where it just is this constant reminder and nagging, which I can understand 100%, but I definitely over communicate. That's just how I am as a person, so I'm definitely going to work on that for sure. The next thing is confidence. Being overconfident in a position or a job can also be a downfall of a leadership role, just because if you go into a job knowing exactly what you're doing and knowing exactly what you're going to do and being overconfident, it easily could get the best of you. Those are the downfalls. I believe that's pretty much it as what I took overall. Again, like I said, there was so much to take from it. Those were kind of the pinpoints. I definitely will take these into my position, especially the over communicating one. I think, and different skills I learned as well, I will definitely take into my role as a manager. I think she is a very, very well written author, and she speaks very well, or at least writes very well. I'm very excited to see how I react and how my employees react to different ways of trying things in the workplace. So I am excited about that. I enjoyed this book. I don't know if she's written any others, but I probably would read them if she had. But yeah, I hope you all have an amazing rest of your semester.